I want to go over a couple of the common mistakes with Lab 3, particularly related to scale. So there was a question about converting word scale to a ratio scale. So if I'd given you 2 inches equals 300 miles, people knew to reduce 1 inch equals 150 miles. But then a lot of people left it at that, so that was what they gave me. But what you actually still have is 1 inch. It's still 1 inch equals 150 miles. And in order to have a ratio, I have to have one of the same units is equal to the other side needs to be the same units. So I have to convert 150 miles into inches. And so I know that there are 12, I'm going to do equals 150 times. I know there's 12 or 5,280 feet in 1 mile, and I know there are 12 inches in a foot. So my answer then is 1, 2, let's add some commas here because that would make life, well, let's not. Control C, put it over here. So that would be my answer, 1 to 9,504,000. And so I have the same units on both sides, so when its units are the same, I can cross them out, because that's what makes a ratio. So that was the first thing that several people just didn't finish that task. The other thing is related to looking at map scale on the topographic map, and I think this was quite a bit easier for people who have a paper copy of the map if they printed it off, or but it's doable online. So I'm going to look at it right now at 25% scale, and at the bottom of the map you have the graphic scale bar. So I'm going to switch this to 100%, and now that I've got the map at 100%, I'm not going to change that scale as I do the measuring and the work, because I'm going to use this graphic scale down below to make a paper ruler, and I'm going to lay the paper underneath the mile bar, because that's what I want. And a lot of people looked at the end of this bar and decided that the length of the line from here all the way over to here was 1 mile. It's not, it's 2 miles. So if you see in the middle there is a 0. So here is 0 to 1 mile, and there's 0 to 1 mile. So the bar itself is 2 miles long, and this is done so that at the left-hand side of the bar scale they can show tenths of inches. The same thing with the kilometers. Here is 1 kilometer, there's another kilometer. So this bar is actually 2 kilometers long. So this would really make your measurements a lot shorter than they actually are. Okay, so once you've made a correct ruler, then I ask people to measure the distance of 7.5 degrees of latitude and 7.5 degrees of longitude. Again, I'm not going to change the scale because I've made a bar scale, so at this resolution I need my map to be at the same resolution. So I'm going to move over to the east side of the map, and here is 44 degrees north latitude. So I'm going to start measuring from here all the way up to the top here, which is 44 degrees 7 minutes 30 seconds north latitude. That should be around 8 miles or so. And as you look at the map, you'll notice that there is more distance in latitude than there is in longitude. The map is taller than it is wide. So down at the bottom, I'm going to go back, and here is 23 degrees west. The west is understood, but you have to write it, or write negative 123 longitude, and I'm going to measure all the way over to the western edge of the map, and this should be minus 123 7 minutes 30 seconds of longitude, and that should be around 6 miles.